trust Ryan to net. This is one thing. One
But it's all like 90s and 2000s rap. It's not. I don't know any current rap.
It's true. You did stop, like, caring about music when you turned, like, what would it be, like, 30? Like, after you turned 30, you just stopped investing in new music. You're like, "No, I'm
Well,
good."
I mean, like, I know a little bit just because of my kids,
Mhm.
but like I hear the stuff they listen to, and I'm like, this is trash.
You know what? I'm here. I'm trying to, make fun of you here, have some fun, but I agree with you 1,000,000,000,000,000,000%. The new music today is just hard to listen to.
Well, and some of the like there's some like pop music that I can do, but most of it is like the rap. Like I don't know, I just don't think the rap does it like it used to. Like the old school, like like the Super Bowl halftime show. Like that's for
Mhm.
me.
Mhm. It's ridiculous. I mean,
Oh,
Eminem. They got Eminem, right, for you this year?
yeah, and they got Dre and I think Snoop and like the Death Row guys. Like
Nice.
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'm trying
There's all
to
kind of people. I don't remember who all's on it.
I mean, I saw it, yeah, Snoop, because I saw a betting line of there's betting odds if Snoop is gonna smoke weed during the halftime show.
Performance. Yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm taking those odds for sure, like,
I
he
mean,
is.
I I mean the over under on that is how many joints he's gonna smoke during the 15
Exactly,
minute.
exactly. I mean, I think there's a pretty good chance there's gonna be that's happening, yeah.
Yeah. So, dude, weigh-in day is here, bro.
Feels kinda like Christmas morning, doesn't it? Like, a little bit.
It does. I mean, I don't know. You prep. We put so much work into this, and the fighters put the camps into this, and then like it's here. Like it all comes to a head very
Like,
soon.
it shouldn't it shouldn't surprise me at this point because this is now my second event as GM, so I've been around that environment, and we were, you know, preparing for December as well, so I felt that lead up mostly, and it just still amazes me how much there is to do. Like you would think that would get normal, and maybe it does. Maybe when I get, like, this is your 12th event, I guess. Like, maybe for you it feels more normal, but for me it's still like an absurd amount of things that need to get done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Here's the thing about that is I think if you just want to be average, like there's not as many things to do. But when you're always trying to get better and like grow and like reach new people and stuff
Right.
like you're always trying to figure out ways to grow and give new opportunities to the fighters and build up the like we're all, I mean, and you see that, and I think that like I think you can sit and be content and just kind of like float
Yeah.
by. But I'm that's not me, and I think I don't want to be average. I want to excel, and that's what I stress to my kids. Like as a dad, like when I don't care about seeing my kid lose. I don't care about like that's fine. When I
Mhm.
see someone that's not giving everything they have when you do something, I said don't do something if you're not going to put everything you have into it. And I
Sure.
mean that's really what that's just what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to handle, and I mean, thankfully, we are pretty blessed, I would say, with the fighters, especially the local fighters. Like, the guys that fight locally are here to put on a show, for sure. Like, they're not half in. The coaches here are very, very good, they prepare their guys amazingly, and whenever a coach signs off on his guy to step into our cage, you can count on that guy being prepared and ready to roll and professional all the way through, so that's something that I think we're very, very fortunate with here in Pittsburgh. And, we've talked about it on the podcast before, written blog posts about it and everything. But our scene is strong right now, man, and it's only getting stronger. And I definitely think BitB 10 here is going to be another step in that direction of showing the evolution of Pittsburgh MMA. So it's definitely exciting, man.
Super exciting. um we've had our weigh-ins the last couple shows start a lot earlier than we're used to. Our weigh-ins are usually starting. Caden, Caden, this is live podcasting, and this is what it'll do for you.
Live podcasting in 2022. He had a nice shirt on though. I'll say he had the 247 shirt rocking.
Yeah, he's about to get knocked out. Is what's going to happen here.
Dang, knockout of the night sealed.
He does not need to be on my computer to be in school. He has an iPad for that. So
that's fun. Get the iPad, Caden. That's beautiful. That's a good interruption. For some reason, I don't think the stream is live on Facebook. Restream is telling us that it is. Everything looks good on our end. Everything's all connected. I see it on YouTube and Twitter, but it doesn't look like it's on Facebook. So that's very strange.
Do we need me to try to get it on?
I don't think. It's all connected. Everything's. I don't know. This live podcast is a cluster so far. We've got kids showing up. We got problems connecting to Facebook apparently. I don't know. But if you guys are here, and obviously we're going to post this once it's done, we are just hours away from weigh-ins for Brawl in the Burgh 10. Happening tonight. You started to say it, but they're a little later than usual at 5:30 p.m. tonight. So fighters got a little more time to cut weight than usual, which could be good or bad. If they're on weight already, obviously that's bad because now they got to be miserable a little longer. But if they need time to cut that weight, they got a little extra time this time. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think in general they like the earlier weigh-ins. We don't get the weigh-in time from the commission until usually it's like a week in advance, and this time it was we found out I think on a Monday.
Yeah.
And so it's excellent though that the snow that Armageddon came through, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. We have a little bit of bad weather to deal with this morning, and it's not really the end of the world, but
Yeah, nothing too crazy, at least. I do want to point out for everybody, we obviously have fighters coming in from out of town, and that creates some problems with the travel for sure. Like you were just talking about the snow and ice that we got. But shout out to Carolina Kickboxing Academy, Jeremiah Scott. We got to talk about this a little bit. Jeremiah Scott in our main event facing Khama Worthy, and his crew had coming up from Myrtle Beach, I think is where they're from, South Carolina at any rate, and flew into Baltimore, and then their connection from Baltimore to Pittsburgh got canceled. So they were stranded in Baltimore, and a lot of fighters could have just packed it up right then and been like, "Yeah, guys, we can't make it. Sorry, our flight got canceled." And honestly, that's a pretty good excuse. Flight getting canceled, yeah, that is what it is, but they did the right thing. They got a rental car. They loaded 6 dudes into a rental car and drove from Baltimore to Pittsburgh. Man, they were crammed in like sardines. So shout out to them. Jeremiah sent us a picture and showed them all crammed in. They were having fun with it though. I saw some videos of them singing in the car like Step Brothers, the Sweet Child of Mine Step Brothers version. They seem ready to roll, man. I like these guys already. This is at least my first experience with Jeremiah and his team, but I love everything from those guys so far. The thing I love the most that does not happen was we didn't have to bug them for updates. They were doing the right thing and updating us every time something went wrong, and it was never like, "Hey guys," it was never panicky. They kept such a level head throughout the whole thing. They're like, "Hey guys, just letting you know, flight got canceled, but we got it under control. Nothing to worry about." And then as soon as they got to Monroeville, they were like, "Just letting you know, we made it to Monroeville. We're checked into the hotel. We're good." It was awesome, man. That was just a cool experience for me. And that's Jeremiah's a pro fighter. He's had 14 pro fights, numerous boxing, Muay Thai fights. That's how that kind of fighter should be. Clearly this is a guy that's done it before. He's done the dance. He knows what he's doing. He's going to be ready to roll, man. So that was just all good news from him and his team.
Yeah, people that you work with that make your life easier are such a pleasure. That we weren't chasing them down, and not having to worry about it. There are so many guys that it seems like you get them booked for a fight and any obstacle, like they're not climbing it. If something
Right.
happens, they're pulling out. Like if so, like and you just get to a point where it's frustrating, right? But
Yeah.
then you got a guy like Jeremiah that reinstills the faith you have in everyone, that like they're gonna do everything they can. There's not an obstacle that they won't climb. Like they're all in, and
Yep.
it just makes our lives. The fact that he did everything he could to get here, instead of like getting an obstacle and saying, "Hey, man, I tried."
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever you wanna call it, cliche, whatever, but, like, if you want something to happen badly enough, you'll make it happen, and that's these fighters that like we're talking about Jeremiah, guys like that, that will literally take any hurdle on. Like, I feel like anything could have happened on that trip, but Jeremiah and his team was getting to Pittsburgh in time for weigh-ins and in time for the fight. Like, that's just at the end of the day, that's all it is. And man, from the jump, we got the feeling from Jeremiah and his team that like they really, really wanted this fight with Khama. Like it was very obvious that they wanted this fight with Khama. So this just goes another step in that direction to prove exactly how badly they want it. So they're
Well,
in town. Yeah.
it's an absolutely immense opportunity for him. It's a great opportunity for like the fight works for everyone, right?
Mhm.
And what a blessing it is for the fans, for MMA fans in Pittsburgh. Like we
Oh,
get we
dude.
get a Khama Worthy fight before, back at home before.
Yeah.
So when we didn't think that we'd ever get to see him live again, like guess what? Here's a little
Yeah.
treat. Enjoy it. Get out to see it, because this is probably, I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is probably the last time Kama's going to fight locally, unless like a big show comes through.
Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy to think of, man, and like you said, it's an honor to have that fight and have our first show of 2022 feature that fight at the top. I mean, that's freaking huge. So, I have a hype video here that we made for Kama versus Jeremiah. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have seen Kama fight before, but if you haven't seen Jeremiah fight, there's a little clip of him here in a boxing that I think you're going to want to see to kind of get a feel for what kind of fighter he is as well. So we're going to roll this. It's about 37 seconds, I think, and then we'll be right back. Yeah.
Dude, I like it. You make these little videos and you don't even tell me, bro.
I always got surprises, you know what I mean? We're always here to keep things fresh for you at 247 Fighting Championships. So,
Dude,
man, that was it. I was, looking for some of Jeremiah's fights on YouTube and found that boxing match, and that was there's actually a really good kind of grudge match story behind that. You'll find a lot of videos of those two guys in each other's face. Like Jeremiah was clearly the out of town fighter. He was getting booed in the introductions and everything. The crowd hated Jeremiah that fight, and he embraced every second of it. So he's no stranger, is what I'm getting at. Like I'm expecting the same tomorrow night for him because obviously you're coming into Khama Worthy's home and fighting Khama Worthy in Pittsburgh. People aren't going to like you, but clearly he thrives and enjoys that situation. So just seeing that made me. I was already super excited for this fight, obviously, but it made me that much more excited.
well, as much as they may not like him, I can guarantee you those that you know what he went through to get here, they can certainly appreciate him. Whether they like him or not, they can boo him all he wants, but you know, it's we're thrilled to have him. Exciting main event. Can't wait. Oh,
Oh,
I'm stoked, man.
dude, the main event is just amazing. It really is an amazing main event, and like I said, the more you dig into Jeremiah, the more you actually watch his fights and see what he's all about, the more I'm just convinced that's an absolute barn burner waiting to happen. I mean, this dude's really good everywhere the fight goes. I know it's. I mean, Khama's kind of got the same thing going on, I guess, where you look at Jeremiah's record 8-6, and it's like, oh, okay, 8-6, like that's pretty good, but you're not 22-1 or whatever crazy. But like you dig into those losses, and they're really good losses, and the wins are really good wins. So it's just like Khama, like when he wins definitively and just straight up outclasses guys. So it's going to be a great matchup, I think, between two guys that are on that level. And like you said earlier, like this is Jeremiah's chance, man. And he and his team definitely recognize that. If he goes in there and wipes out Khama Worthy in Pittsburgh, his name is 100% on the national map, which is what he's looking to do. So there's high stakes all around in that one.
Well, what Khama, everyone's got their 247 shirt on
I
in
know.
the house.
Yeah, that's
I got
funny.
my Josh Friend shirt on. Josh Friend fighting Sunday night. The thing with I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
It's all
The
right.
kids running around the house,
It happens. We're
driving me
just,
crazy.
I mean, we could talk this whole podcast about Khama and Jeremiah for sure, but I want to give some shine to a fight that maybe has flown under the radar a little bit for various
Certainly.
reasons. Yeah, but Justin Patton versus Josh Armstrong, man, two pro bantamweights looking to get back on track. They both lost their pro debuts, but you look at these guys and they're extremely, extremely similar in that as amateurs, they only fought the best of the best guy. Like they've only always taken hard fights, which we've talked about before. And as you know, as a promoter, but like for people maybe just getting into the amateur scene and early pro scene, that's everything. Like quality of opposition matters so much more than your amateur record. And I really can't stress that enough. Like taking losses as an amateur is not the end of the world by any means. Like a lot of you look at the best fighters in the world and they have losses as an amateur. Like it happens.
Dude, what was that thing you screenshotted me about from Josh's coach? Remember? He said something about like Pittsburgh promotions don't even pretend like they're not bringing him in to lose.
Yeah.
We that was news to us. Like I don't know. So I think some guys like being the underdog,
Yeah.
but we literally like love this matchup. I think it's going to be one of the fights of the night. It's a sleeper for fight of the night for sure. I think
Oh
this is
yeah.
flown under the radar because it's sandwiched between Khama Worthy and like one of the elite amateur bouts that around. Like this is the
Possible.
highest level of amateurs that you're going to ever have.
Yeah, I mean, literally, if you just say like go into Tapology, look at the rankings, whatever, and then put up a matchup that you want at your event, like you could reasonably pick this fight.
Sure,
Like this is a dream matchup.
absolutely.
This is
This,
absolutely a dream matchup. Yeah.
yeah, and so it's kind of flown under the radar, but these two guys are going to. I'm talking as far as Patton
Yeah. Yeah.
and Armstrong go. This is definitely potential for fight of the night. But I'm going to sound like a broken record as we talk about these fights because a lot of them, they're all great close bouts.
Yeah, they're killer matchups, man. I think you talk about Cam versus Hunter, and my favorite kind of fun fact of this is that Cam beat Justin Patton as an amateur, and Hunter Starner beat Josh Armstrong as an amateur. So it's kind of funny that these two guys, Cam and Hunter, fighting for the belt, each have wins over the guys in the next fight, that pro bantamweight fight between Justin and Josh. But just it just strengthens my point that I was making earlier about how Justin and Josh are only fighting the best of the best as amateurs.
Mm-hmm.
Like now we've got it. Like Cam and Hunter went on, both undefeated, both racking up titles everywhere. This fight's for a title. Like Cam and Hunter are unquestionably two of the best bantamweights in the nation. And like this is just like we said, it's a dream amateur matchup. I think this is even the guy that loses this fight is still going to have an incredibly successful career. And the guy who wins it will be, fast track to the next level for sure. Probably want to go pro and then probably move on to Bellator, UFC, whatever, shortly after that, because that's just the talent level of that fight. They're too good to not make it to that level.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know that Cam has like immediate plans of going pro. So, but I mean, whatever he decides, we're on board with. I think he definitely. I mean, it's just so advantageous to get different looks, different experiences as an amateur. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, either way, like, we're fine with their team is taking good care of him and looking out for his best interest at Gorilla House as they always do. So they'll guide him the right way, and it'll be, obviously his decision as well. But I
Mhm.
mean, whether he's 6-1 or 7-0 after this fight, he's ready to be a pro. It's just a matter of,
Yeah.
is it the right time for him?
Yep, absolutely, and I think that's crucial too, what you talk about with Gorilla House, because they're just doing things the right way for not only his career, but their whole roster's career. They don't make hasty decisions. They don't throw their fighters into fights that they shouldn't be taking, things like that. So that's only going to strengthen Cam's career wherever it does go from here, like you said. But then the same can be said for Hunter Starner and his team there at Renegade Combat Sports Club. Like, we don't know them as well, obviously, as Gorilla House, but this first experience with them through this fight, from the second they accepted this bout till today, when they let us know, once again, they messaged us and said, Hunter's on weight. We're here. We're ready to go. Like, everything's good. They didn't have to send that message, but that's just the way that they've gone above and beyond to put our minds at ease, because clearly they've done the dance before, man. Like we said, there's a lot for us to stress out about right now. We're both pretty stressed right now. Even though we look calm and collected, there's a lot of stress happening right now. So it's
Yeah,
nice.
until
Yeah.
until that first bell, I'm like, I don't not stress. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's
Just
not like it used to be. My first couple shows, man, whew, I was
brutal.
yeah, it was brutal, and that's probably the levels of stress that you're going through now, or
Sure.
to some degree of that. But once you start going through it, and you know, just accept that, like, the week leading into the fight is just like, it's grueling.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just wanna
Um,
point out. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
go
Sorry.
no, 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 you're good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, for people watching the pay-per-view, obviously, or watching the pay-per-view, watching this live stream podcast, we are obviously talking about Brawl in the Burgh 10. It's going down tomorrow, Saturday, February 5th at the Monroeville Convention Center. Tickets are on sale right now at 247fighting.com, man. Ticket sales have been awesome. Like, that just makes me that much more excited, because the Monroeville Convention Center is gonna be hopping, man. That's a guarantee. But if you guys cannot make it to Monroeville for whatever reason, we do encourage you to order the pay per view. You can kick up at home, crack a beer, get some popcorn, watch it at home on your TV, on your computer, whatever. Yeah, it's a good
That's
time. Like,
especially that really what the pay-per-view is essentially for, is the out of town fighters whose
right,
family and friends can't travel with them. There's no experience like being at a local MMA show. There just isn't.
100%, 100%.
And you don't, like, this environment, this crowd is going to be amazing. It's going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be our best crowd that we've ever had. And I don't know, like, if you've never been to one of our shows, you won't have anything to compare it to. But if you have, if you've been to some of our shows, like, they're amazing crowds. We have great fans, and it's a great atmosphere. And I think this is going to top everything we've ever done. So
Yeah.
super stoked about that.
Yeah, and we just wrote about it, but, like, this isn't promoter speak when we say stuff like that. I know it sounds like promoter speak, because it sounds like it might just be some hype or whatever, but when I had John Anik on the podcast, we talked about local MMA and how it does just kinda hit different, as the kids say, and he wholeheartedly agreed. I mean, he said the same thing. That we got the video and the clip of it and everything, if you wanna go watch it on our site, but John just reiterated that fact. Like, man, John Anik has commentated the biggest fights in the world, all over the world, for a decade now with the UFC. And he was like, whenever I still get, like, he'll still get out to a local MMA show once in a while. He's like, when I do that, it just routinely amazes me of the energy in that building, because you think 20,000 people versus 1,000 people, it can't possibly compare. But it's like the most passionate 1,000 people on earth. It's friends, it's family, it's girlfriends, it's wives, it's all these people who are personally invested in that fighter in a way that, I'm a Steelers fan. I don't know Ben Roethlisberger. I don't know the team. I'm not invested on that level.
You're
It's
not Cody Sable.
right. I'm not Cody Sable. I'm not that famous like Cody Sable to be friends with these guys. I'm not texting TJ Watt right now asking him how he's enjoying this ice storm.
Although, I mean, if you need his number, I can. Well,
Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
I do know Cody.
Look at this guy flexing. Cody's pretty cool, man.
Dude,
Cody deserves a shout out.
you already pulled the Anik card. Like, I mean, come on.
That's true. That's true. See, we all got our connections here, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, the the point is, I love that we just got off track, just rambling about how cool we are.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm cool. I just think there's some people that I know that are cool.
That's very accurate, actually. Very humble of you. But yeah, man, the events, it's going to be sick, and like we started there before we got completely off track. Like if you've never been to a local MMA show, you kind of owe it to yourself. I've been saying, and this is to be 100% fair. I've said this from the first local MMA show I went to before I was affiliated with 247 at all. Like I've felt this way about local MMA from the first show I ever went to, which was an NAAFS show in West Virginia. So
Oh, they
it's
did shows
special.
in West Virginia?
Yeah,
I
they
thought
sure
they
did.
were Ohio, just
They
Ohio.
are. They're primarily Ohio, but they came to Morgantown once.
Ah,
Maybe more than once, I don't know. But when I was in college, I covered NAAFS and what was the other Simons Promotions? It was like two brothers, John and Greg Simons. Man, that's your brain is sad. Like, man, I used to be close with those guys, and now I can't remember their names. That's not a
you're
good
like,
look.
you're like old, bro. Life
Ah,
happens.
college was like 10 years ago, man. That's hard to believe now. What in the world?
Dude,
Been a
wait
lot
till
of
you turn. But my biggest, like the age that I turned that I realized I was old, like it's not one of those milestones. It was 36 is
mm,
when I said, "Wow, I'm old." Because what happened was I was looking at like I love football and particularly like college football, and I was looking at like recruits, and I was
mhm,
looking at their birth year when I was 36, and there's
mhm.
kids getting recruited that were born the year I graduated high school, and I'm like, oh man, am I
That's
old?
rough. That's rough. You know what else
Yeah.
makes you feel old? Whenever you look at Craig Perry's, date of birth on his fighter information form, and it's like Craig Perry was born in, like, 2001 or something, 2002 maybe even, and it's like, "What? How is that even possible?" Like, we got a guy fighting that was born after the new millennium? Like, that literally doesn't make sense to me, but here we are.
So are you getting all these crazy messages?
I got a, like, Russian bot message, if that's what you're talking about.
No. Oh, that's a preview. Never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
What
I don't.
happened?
I
Now
don't
I wanna
know.
know what happened.
Well on the side of my screen where it says like where it had like where you got rid of that bot thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It now says look like you're in bed link is invalid. Like I don't know.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know what's up with that.
And then
Yeah,
there's a
Restream.
settings button. Restream's awesome, but like
Yeah,
I don't know.
we've had a couple hiccups with it that are not awesome. So we're working through it here with you guys live in real time. You got to see kids show up. You get to see a Russian bot make a comment.
Well,
We're
if it
working
wasn't
through.
for the weather, we would have been at the
Yeah,
convention center
right.
live this morning.
Yep.
That was the original plan.
Yeah, and we definitely wanted to do that, but it wasn't going to make sense, unfortunately. Like you
Yeah,
said with
I
the
mean,
weather.
we're letting the roads clear a little bit. Plus, I got to pick something up. Yeah, we got all kind of stuff to do.
I mean, we really want to be there for sure, but we also don't wanna die driving. So it's a delicate balance, like, do you wanna be there and do a live podcast, or do you wanna die in a car accident? So,
You
I
know
mean,
who I'm excited to see today?
hang on. I
You
wanna
heard?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Edwin Vera. Alright, man, I shoulda got an
Oh,
Edwin Vera clip ready.
did you did you has that like the Craig Perry thing been up for a while, or
Yeah,
did
it
you
has
just put
been.
that up?
No, it's
Oh,
been
okay.
there. When I
I just
talked about how young he is.
so
Who
like
you
I he's just a dude that I look at. I like just he's just like a fun to be around, just to talk to, like Edwin Vera.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain unless you've been around him. I'll say that because even as entertaining as he is on social media and online and everything, he's way different in person. Like it's even so much better in person.
Yeah,
So yeah, he is a guy that you got to meet him. Like you got to be around. Everybody deserves to be around Edwin Vera once in a while. Like you'll just smile the entire time, and you'll just feel good about life.
Yes.
Like, that's
Well,
it.
like, even when I think about him, it just makes me smile because he's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, he's so bubbly, he's so energetic, and then when it's fight time, dude flips that switch, man. He's as much of a dog as anybody on this card. Like, you
He's
don't
that
he's that
he's that
dude, yeah.
emotional fighter. He's that
Yep.
emotional guy that's like, you know, and like I think he's gonna learn like, hey, like, I don't always have to be offensive. I can like protect myself too. Like, and that's a
Mhm.
part of growing in the sport is like knowing when to turn it on and when to protect yourself. So I think he's becoming a much smarter fighter, and I think he's looking forward to showcasing himself tomorrow. If you guys don't know, like I know there's a ton of people. He's from the Bronx, so he's not like a native Pittsburgher, but he like everyone just like flocks to Edwin. He's that guy.
He really is, and you mentioned how he's becoming a smarter fighter for sure, and on that note, I just wanna point out, like, again, for people who aren't familiar with him, he's got the right guys in his corner, like Isaac Greeley at the Mat Factory. That whole Mat Factory crew is amazing. We gush about them. It seems like we always end up gushing about the Mat Factory during a podcast at some point. And then Edwin is also working with Richie Canalina at Sanctuary Boxing Club now for just straight up boxing, getting his hands sharp, working a lot on defense as well, like you said. So he's making
Well,
the right decisions.
Richie used to be the boxing coach at the Mat Factory,
Right, right.
and they worked together then. And then Richie opened his own gym and his own boxing gym, which is awesome. Um, and
Now it's
so
just at
now they're
that next
working
level.
together again.
Right. So it's awesome. Like, it's cool to see guys take those steps, take losses. Like, Edwin is coming off losses, but like you said, he's always in the fight. He's always bringing the fight. He's looking to bounce back in a big way, and he's taking the right steps. A lot of guys, you mentioned it in your last blog post, Ryan, but like, people would be amazed at the amount of people who take one fight and then quit and realize it's not for them. Like, Edwin didn't take losses and realize it wasn't for him. He took losses and realized it is for him and had to make changes to get there. Like, it's a completely different mindset, but it's awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean the mindset is like, I love this, and now I have like things to work on.
Right.
And it's awesome seeing him, just evolve. I mean, he's a fun guy to begin with, but then when you see him mature in his fighting and mature in his preparation and all those things, like it's not a
Mhm.
game to him. It's not just a competition. It's like this is what I do,
Right.
and it's just you know watching a kid grow in the sport like him and Cam. I mean,
It's
Edwin's
awesome.
only has never taken a fight outside of 247. So we've literally seen every round, every moment of
Yep.
his fight career and what he's done. And
Which
and
is
he- and
amazing.
and you remember he texted me after the last fight. It was a loss,
Mhm.
and he said, "I love these fights. Keep giving me hard opponents. That's what I want." And he
Yeah.
literally texted me that, and guess what?
You
I
got
got a
another
tough
tough
opponent
opponent.
for you.
Yeah, another guy who's for the finish at all times, super powerful, great finishing instincts. I mean, these are dangerous fights, and those are the ones Edwin wants. But I'm gonna share a secret about Edwin that I don't think we've talked about yet. The one downside of Edwin Vera, like, it has to be said, he's made one critical mistake with 247, and I'm about to spill the beans on it, and that is that he didn't let us make him a shirt for this fight.
Well, actually, he did.
Okay, he did. Yeah, that's even better, you're right. He
Yeah,
we
he,
made him a shirt, and that shirt was freaking awesome, and then
really awesome.
he said he didn't want the shirt anymore. So I just had to flip over to the 247 shop so you can see some examples of the shirts that we have made. Evan DeLong on the card, Cam Allgeier on the card, Mole Rat. That shirt's awesome. Ethan Goss, Julian Flannery on the card, Craig Perry on the card. So we got a lot of people on the card. We got their stuff made, got their shirts for sale at 247fighting.com/shop. And man, the Edwin Vera shirt was so good. Dude, it
Dude,
was
that
so
dude looks
good.
like you in that polo.
Oh, he kind of does. Is that me? No,
Dude,
the
you,
hair
you should
hair's way too
you
short.
should pull up the Edwin Vera shirt.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. I'll stop sharing my screen. I bet I can find it somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's awesome. Or did we actually get a shirt like uploaded, or do we just have the logo?
I think we just have the proof of what it was
Oh,
gonna look
Christina
like.
put it on a shirt, right?
Did she?
I think when she sent it, I don't know.
I
I
don't
think
know.
when she
Hang
sent,
on. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna
yeah,
find it. This can be
that's
done.
definitely. I mean, we got to just give him a little glimpse until Edwin, you know,
Yeah.
wants to release the dogs.
Absolutely. It's a little blurry, this picture, because this was just kind of a comp mock-up that our graphic designer sent, but wait till you guys, this is
Oh, that
sick.
was a picture of her screen, huh?
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah.
Look what you missed
I
out on, Edwin.
Okay,
Come
you have to
on,
take it
man.
off. People are gonna screenshot it and print it on their own shirts now. This
Oh,
is
no,
it's
no,
Pat
no.
awesome.
Yeah, that was, yeah. If they print that off as blurry as it is and whatnot, they can have that.
Dude, every time we have Christina do a shirt, like, I think, "Okay, like, there's not gonna be a better shirt than this." And then she just comes back with something ridiculous.
Better. Yeah, the
Yeah.
dude, what's amazing to me is, like, working with a graphic designer like that. Like, I for sure like, I dabble in graphics. I would never say that I do graphic design or I'm a graphic designer, but, like, I understand at least a little bit what goes into it. Christina is, like, so advanced that it's just weird. It's almost weird to work with. Like, you mentioned it before to me, how she can, like, read our minds. Like, we give her the most random direction that sounds like, "Okay,
Yeah.
there's no way," like, she's not gonna understand what this means, but I don't know how else to say it, and then she comes
Like,
back and it's, like, perfect.
I can't explain what I'm saying, so we're gonna really have to, like, go back and forth on this, and then you, like, explain it really terribly, and then she hits a home run with it with your explanation.
Yeah, the Edwin Vera, I literally said, "I want it to have a comic book feel." That's all I told her, and that was the shirt that she came back with. I'm like, "Dude, like, that is so perfect. That is beyond,
Yeah.
like, you nailed everything about it is perfect."
She's the best in the business. It's Onyx, Onyx design. I think we're Facebook friends with her. She's phenomenal. If you're looking for any graphic design work, like, hit her up. She's amazing. She'll get it to you fast, and she's phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah, we're definitely lucky to have her. I think her logo is on the canvas, right? In the
It is.
cage?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so people coming to
And
Monroeville or watching.
it's on
Yeah,
the
go.
drive if you're looking to share your screen.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find.
It's
I
on
couldn't
the
find it.
yeah, I don't know. It's on,
It's
like,
alright.
sponsor logos.
Okay. We'll
Yeah.
we'll keep talking and I'll find it while we're chatting
No,
away. So
this is what people were listening for. They're listening to have silences while you're looking for something.
that's what honestly, that's what I've heard. I just watched a, YouTube tutorial. It was how to make your podcast better, and that's what they said. That was the number
Yeah,
one way.
that is. I mean,
Long pauses. Yeah.
like, long, awkward, like, I'm
Terrible
doing
pauses.
something else pauses. That's what people
Yeah.
want. Well, the
Yeah.
funny thing is, we were just like, when we were talking to Kavanaugh last night. Um, Ryan Kavanaugh is one of our play-by-play announcer, and he joined the team recently, and he's phenomenal. We were on a call with him last night on a Zoom call, and we were talking about, like, the like broadcast, and how we all agree, like, there's appropriate time for nice long pauses, and it actually adds to, and Jim commented, like, I've had experiences where I'm watching a UFC fight, and there'll be a nice long pause, and it'll be like, it adds to the drama and the effect of the show and the effectiveness of the commentary. So,
Yep.
but on podcasts, that's a little bit of a different story.
Exactly. There is a beauty to a pause, like you were saying. Like, there's something about letting a moment breathe and speak for itself sometimes. And I think that, like you said, it doesn't really work on a podcast, obviously, but when you're watching live action, there's something about just letting that moment happen and letting
Hmm.
everybody experience it exactly as it is that's special. So it's really cool having Ryan part of the team now, a seasoned guy who really understands things like that. He was kind of walking us through last night, the way that kind of a production team will talk to commentators during a football game, during whatever kind of event, like a real polished, high level production team, the way that works. And it's really cool to learn that stuff, man. Like you kind of think if you do commentary, if somebody asked me to do commentary, I would just read the notes about the fighters and then just kind of try to talk like we are right now, like not really know what I'm doing, but just try to make it fun and entertaining, whatever. But Ryan like understands the intricacies of this works because this, do this now, do this now, don't talk now. Like it's kind of amazing actually how much there is that goes into it.
Yeah. He's a really cool guy to have on the team. I'm super stoked, and he's like Mr. 247. He's like talking to people randomly in random places, talking about how awesome 247 is, and like
Yeah,
it's
we
it's
appreciate.
just cool that he's immediately like a part of what we're doing, and he's fully on board and like loves the things that we do, and you know wants to. He's creative, so he's giving us ideas, and I just like give that to you and say make that happen, and you
Yeah.
know.
But we love that, man. That's kinda to bring it full circle in a way when we were talking about Jeremiah Scott and, like, if you really want this fight, you'll make it happen. Like, if a fighter really wants to fight, he'll do whatever it takes. That's how 247 has to be too. Like, if we want to get where we're going, we have to be all in like that. Like, at the slightest hurdle, we can't just be like, "Ah, well, can't figure that out. I guess it's not happening." Like, no, there's a solution for pretty much any challenge that we'll face, and we're willing to work for that. I mean, it's funny, like even fighters' paperwork. Like, man, we're constantly going through hurdles with that to get fights to actually happen, and the things that we have to do sometimes. For sure, not the majority of the time or anything like that, but once in a while, like if you really want the fight to happen, you'll do whatever it takes. And like that's just where we're at right now. So
Well, and
that's how it is.
that's with life. Like,
Yep.
I mean, you hear guys like Chael Sonnen, like he always said, like, I signed the contract. I'm gonna be there. Like,
Yes.
unless my head's chopped off, like I'll deal with whatever I have to deal with, and I'm gonna be there. And that's the way Jeremiah Scott was. And so he's an
Yep.
asset. Having him on your card is an asset. And that's how that's viewed. And people that find reasons to, you know, drop off of a card, they're far less attractive than, and those opportunities aren't going to be the same for that person than there will be for, your guy like Jeremiah Scott. And we have a lot of guys like that on here in Pittsburgh. Um,
Yep.
and so we're extremely blessed with that.
I think it's crazy, man. I've learned so much in such a short period of time for sure of how even though you think amateur MMA, at least I did, I'll say before I saw behind the scenes, it feels like I could fight in an amateur MMA fight. Not that I would be competitive, but that all you got to do is tell the promoter you want to fight and then show up, weigh in, whatever. Like there's so much, it's pretty professional, even at the amateur level. Like the amount of paperwork, the amount of things that you need to do to make sure everything's in line, to do it right, I'll say, at least to do it the way we want things done and we expect things to be done.
Do you remember
It's pretty
Gavin? Do
professional.
you remember
Yeah.
Gavin
Yeah.
when so Gavin Teasdale is debuting on this card. He's a extremely high level wrestler, won the state title in PA four years in a row. Um, he he said to us, I had no idea how much paperwork and stuff I was gonna have to do to fight.
Yeah. And that's exactly how I felt, like, even at the debuting amateur, Gavin, that's literally a perfect example. Debuting amateur, you just think, like, "I'll just tell the promoter I wanna fight, and then I'll weigh in, and then I'll fight the next day," like, that's all there is to it. It's like, no, it's pretty dang professional right from the jump, like, the amount of things and what it does, I mean, obviously, the commission wants to make sure that everybody is healthy and capable and, all that, of course. But what it also does is separate what we've been talking about. Do you really wanna fight? Because if you don't really wanna fight, you're not gonna get the stuff done, and you can let that be your hurdle, and then that can be the hurdle that prevents you from stepping in the cage, but if you do really wanna fight, you get it done.
Well, and that was the amazing thing about the whole Macri fight. Uh,
Oh, yeah,
and
true,
what was that? Brawl in the
true,
Burgh 9. He did like his opponent,
dude.
Michelangelo Turner, did all of the crazy things we're just talking about to like.
Doesn't
So
make
like
sense.
when someone does all that, like they're fighting.
Mhm.
And then this actually was a time where they weren't. Like, he just disappeared. We still don't
Dude,
know what happened.
all that plus the long swab the COVID swab up the nose for him and his cornerman, like and they passed, they didn't have COVID, like, I don't I that was a baffling like you said, to this day, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe it was the
Hey.
COVID test because I heard he got a I don't know, who knows?
He got a no he did, he legitimately did get a nosebleed from the COVID test, like, I know that for sure
But
because he talked to me about it.
would you train for a fight, do all the paperwork necessary, and then because your nose bled, like, not fight? Like, I don't know. It's just
0
crazy.
yeah, 0% chance because, I mean, you kind of accept a nosebleed as a possibility when you take a MMA fight, right?
I mean, I would think that would definitely be within the realm of possibility, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. It was bizarre. All I know is that this card for sure is shaping up amazingly, and I'm excited for the fighters we have on this one and the guys that want to get in that cage and have proven to us that they want to get in that cage. Man, I wanted to shout out too when we were talking about Carolina Kickboxing Academy. It wouldn't be fair to not also mention Teixeira MMA and Fitness and Kenyon Moore coming in from Connecticut.
Mhm.
They had a rough drive as well, man, but they were the same way, keeping us up to date every step of the way, you know, tagging us on their Instagram story and stuff. So Kenyon's traveling. Unfortunately, Glover Teixeira himself isn't here, but training partner and another coach who's in the UFC, Wellington Turman, is with Kenyon and with that team. So Wellington was having a good time, has messaged us saying, you know, thank you for the opportunity, which is, it's always weird. Like a UFC fighter is thanking us for the opportunity. Like that's cool. Like he's at the highest level of the sport. He could say, you know, screw you guys. Like I'm bigger than you. I'm already ahead of you guys, whatever. But he's like very thankful, very appreciative of what we're doing for Kenyon with this matchup. And Kenyon versus Evan DeLong. So it's cool to have Teixeira here as well and made it safely from Connecticut. So that's always good.
Yeah, and that's a barn burner fight, man. Both these guys are complete studs. Like, we have all, all of these fights, it's like, Kenyon Moore's 2-0, Evan DeLong's 1-0. They both have, been dominating in their appearances. They both look highly seasoned. They don't look like young amateurs. They look like wily veterans. They look like guys,
Yeah.
like when you look at their fights, they look like guys that are ready for the pro ranks. And so when you put two guys like that together on like an amateur portion of the card, like you get these great fights. And here's the cool thing. Like I know there are like some pluses and minuses of amateur fighting and all that good stuff, but one of the cool things I like is when you have these 2-minute rounds, there's no like conserving energy.
Right.
Like
Right.
like
Exactly.
you're getting two, 3 2-minute rounds of action. These guys don't have a ton of time to wait around and wait for right moments and do it. Like they're coming, they're going to implement their game plan, and they're going to take it to the other guy. And they're not that you can't waste time at this level.
Yep.
And
They're
so,
sprints.
yeah, so you see these guys, and it's not like a 5-minute pro fight where there's 3 rounds or 5 rounds. Like you have 6 total minutes. That's a
Yeah.
little more than one pro round. Like you got to make things happen. You don't have time to mess around. So the action level in these fights is absolutely phenomenal. Like you gotta be there and believe it. It's awesome. And camera works, pay-per-view works, but when you're there in person, nothing like it.
Yeah, I think it's always amazing whenever we switch from novice amateur to advanced amateur, and then even if it goes straight from novice amateur to like a pro fight, how much longer the rounds feel is kind of crazy. Like you can tell right away just watching the fight, like, wow, this is different already. Like the 2 minutes that zips by even as a spectator. Like I can't imagine what it feels like for the fighters in there.
Well, and
Like,
then when you move to 5 minutes, it literally
oh
feels
yeah,
like really like we're only
they're still
3 minutes
going.
in.
Yeah, they're
It
still going.
it
What?
seems like forever after watching amateur fights.
It's a really cool dynamic, though. I think it honestly helps the pacing of the show a lot. Like watching it, it's kind of like, I don't really know of a good analogy for it, but it's just like these little quick hitters that keep you intrigued, like previews before you watch the movie. You know what I mean? Like they get you all excited, and then the main event's here, and it's 5 minutes. You're like, okay, now I'll settle in and like watch something for a long time. But it's like TikTok versus YouTube or something, like these little quick hitters to start, and then you got the main event. It's awesome, man. I think people will really enjoy that dynamic if they're just going to watch for the first time tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a great card. We'd love to have as many people out. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Tickets are available. They're selling what really well. I don't know if you've never been to Monroeville Convention Center, like it's way too big of a place for like regional MMA. Like it's just an
Mhm.
at like you could fit enough for a UFC fight almost in there. Like when the UFC comes to Pittsburgh, the amount of people that go to a show at console could fit in the convention center. Um,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
so it's a huge space, and we have an atmosphere there that is awesome, and it's a blast. It's an absolute blast. If you haven't been there in person, like you need to check it out. It's
Yeah.
it's a good time.
It's really cool, man, that it's here. Weigh-ins are here today. Shows here tomorrow. We've been thinking about this card for months, literally
Hmm.
obsessing over this card for months, and it's finally here. So for us, it's super rewarding. For the fighters and coaches, it's super rewarding, and for the fans, it's going to be super rewarding. Like that's a guarantee. What Ryan's talking about, that atmosphere at Monroeville, man, it's tight. Like I've been to a lot of different local MMA regional shows, and 247 just does everything right, man. That's not just me saying this because obviously I work for them on the GM. I promise you, like I've
He's
seen a lot.
responsible for it all now. Now it's like the most amazing
Now
thing
it's
ever.
awesome. I was talking mad smack on it before this though. You
Yeah.
should have heard me.
Well, bad for the sport, right?
Yeah, it's very bad for the sport. We are. It's true. But guys, it's legitimate. A sick card. We're going to at weigh-ins. We're probably going to go live again, like live stream some face-offs and things like that for you guys to kind of see behind the scenes at weigh-ins, and then we'll have pictures from weigh-ins ready, official weights. We'll keep you guys posted every step of the way. So stay tuned on all of our social media accounts and everything: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're on YouTube now. We're beefing up our YouTube presence. So it's just 247 Fighting, all those places, and 247 Fighting Championships on Instagram.
And check out the
Um,
blog too. Hunter's done a real
yeah,
nice job of
100%.
putting out articles and posting from. We had KDKA did a feature and all that stuff. Like our blog on our website, just go to 247fighting.com, and on the top you'll see blog, and just click on that. There's a bunch of cool stuff about this show. If you want to say like, is this interesting or not? Like, there's a bunch of information there. Check it out. Like, the show has all the intrigue in the world. I love it. I love the fact that we have, Khama Worthy on the headline. We have a bunch of great local fighters, and um, Gavin Teasdale making his debut, and bringing a bunch of people together to have a great time. So
Absolutely. Here's the blog. Oh, there's that John Anik video. See, I wasn't lying. That exists.
BFFs.
Yeah, dude, come on.
Yeah, that
This,
fight is
that,
just sick. This
it's
is
absurdly good.
They could do a bodybuilding competition too.
For real. Two little muscle sharks for sure.
Yeah.
I love it. Here's the Comma and Daisy video. That was really fun, man. I was there at the academy when they were filming this, and Daisy did a great job, as you would expect from a seasoned reporter, but she had some fun with Comma, showing her a little combination on the bag and everything. So I was joking like, hey, maybe Daisy Jade's amateur debut for 247 is on the horizon, man. You never know.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Today Live is a show on KDK on every morning at 9 a.m. They did a feature on Comma and this show and the academy and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool earlier in the
Yep.
week. So that's available on the blog as well.
Yep. So yeah, as you can see, the podcasts obviously are on the blog as well. We do little donate tickets to a veteran, just letting you guys know what's new with us, what you got to look forward to. We're obviously going to produce a lot of content around every card. When we have, like, for instance, BitB 10, we kind of broke down basically every fight on this card several times, several different ways. 10 reasons you can't miss the event. Like, everything about it, guys. I mean, we're crazy stoked about this event, and we think that shows in the content we're creating for you guys, and it's definitely going to show on fight night. Like I said, the 247 puts a ton of care into the production, into the show. It's not just show up and have some fights in your backyard. We want it to be a real awesome UFC level experience. And I know how crazy that sounds for regional MMA, especially if you've been to other regional MMA shows. But man, we do it right. There's a lot of work and time and stress that goes into it. So if you guys are there, thank you so much. If you're watching from pay-per-view, thank you so much. But the support, you guys keep us going, and you guys are going to help us get where we want to be too.
And listen, you guys, like, you might be watching this and you're like, I don't know. Like, if you have any questions, reach out to us. Reach out to us on social media. Email us at info@247fighting.com. We'll help you in any way possible. Love to get you connected if you have questions. It is an all ages show. That's a frequently asked question. Like, anyone 2 and under is free. If you're a lap, they'll be in your lap. They won't have a seat of their own, but they're 2 and under is free. What are other frequently asked questions?
Yes, there's alcohol and food.
Yes, there's alcohol and food. Yeah,
Yeah, those are pretty much the frequently asked questions.
like event style food. Like if you're looking for dinner, like you wanted to go before or after,
Correct.
you can get like
It's like
chicken
concessions,
strips and fries and stuff. But like you're
which
mainly
which
looking
for
at like,
me, I mean, for me, honestly, that's what I'm ordering anyway when we go. No,
yeah, well,
I do love food, but dude, Tendy, come on, Tendy Tuesday hits different.
what's
Just
I
admit it.
don't even know I don't get it.
Don't
I
worry
don't
about it. See,
understand
you're too
you
old.
at all.
You're too old, Ryan. You don't get tendies. Ask Austin. I bet Austin understands Tendy Tuesday.
I don't eat chicken that doesn't come on a bone unless it's Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is good. I'll give you that. But
I
I'll
mean,
give you, man.
actually, that place you talked about in the South Side, I got to go there.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Streets on Carson? Streets on
No, no,
Carson?
no, no.
What place?
The place were like you were like, I haven't tried this and like it's been years and I haven't tried it yet. Like there's something wrong with me. It's like a guy that
Hmm.
doesn't have a place. He like works out of
Oh,
his.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, dude, Troy Beck. Oh, dude, that was the best chicken I've ever eaten. And that,
Okay,
like, I'm not just saying that. It was the best chicken I've ever eaten.
so
Troy Beck.
for all of you foodies, like let's do a little food segment here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
While
always
we're
down for that. Yeah,
okay,
on weigh-in day, let's talk about food.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Hopefully
so
no fighters are listening.
I'm gonna throw something out there that I was thinking about. Okay, when you talk about like areas that have like lots of good food, dude,
Mhm.
Brookline Boulevard could hang with anyone now. So
Which is crazy.
feel me out. You got the 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 Mexican place. What's it called?
Mhm. Las Palmas?
Las Palmas. Yeah. Then you got the Gyro place, which Pita Land.
Mhm.
Everyone I talk to loves that place. I'm not a big gyro guy, but I hear that place is phenomenal. You got Moonlight Cafe that everyone loves,
Yep.
and you have Oak Hill
Now.
Post,
Yeah.
which is phenomenal, which I just had for the first time. And by the way, Oak Hill Post, in my opinion, if you've never seen it,
I'm
and this is a free plug for them,
I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah.
Oak Hill Post has the best food. Like I'll challenge anyone to find a better one. I mean, maybe I haven't seen a better one. Oak Hill Post, best Instagram food place in Pittsburgh. I
Look at
I,
this.
I mean, it's just a bunch of yum.
The man doesn't speak lies, I will say. Like this, their Instagram makes me hungry every single day. I debated unfollowing it just because of that. No, not really, but look at this burger, man. That
That's
is
literally the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
my mouth. You guys may have seen it. Like my mouth actually watered when I pulled
Yeah,
that up.
I'm
Like,
like
yeah, I
Pavlov's
really
dogs
did.
right now.
Yeah.
I see
But
drool running down my face.
I was on Troy Beck before that, and this is the chicken guy. So this is one of the most unique situations. Like I heard about Troy on Twitter and saw people raving about his chicken, and I was like, okay, where's he the chef? But he just is. Like he just makes chicken. This is gonna sound so sketch. He makes the chicken and you just DM him to pick it up somewhere. You just meet him like wherever you guys agree to meet and pick up your chicken. But dude, like this is his Nashville hot sandwich. It's like you mentioned Chick-fil-A earlier, and I agree, like, Chick-fil-A is pretty good. This is on a different planet than
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A.
yeah, it
Like,
looks pretty ridiculous. I think
that's
I might have to stop there. No, there's no there. That's the weird thing.
Dude, look at this.
Like this is the guy. This is reminds me of like a bookie.
Yeah,
Like, hey, yo,
100%.
I got. I'll take this and this. Like, it's on the down low. Like, okay,
Yep,
we'll
yep.
exchange money in the alleyway.
What's
That's what
hilarious,
you had. You had that.
there's the tendy I had the tendies,
Yeah,
I had this, I had ten so, when you order from him, obviously, it's not something you do, like, every day, so, like, when you order, I try to go all out, like, so I got these, I got, this, the Asian chicken sandwich, got this Korean barbecue chicken sandwich, got this Nashville hot sandwich, so it's like, we just had a chicken party at the house and ate,
dude.
like, everything on his menu, dude, and it was all just unbelievable.
That sounds awesome. Okay, so I just named those. Oh, and there's like legit pizza places on Brookline Boulevard too.
Sure.
So what area? Like, you can go with a freebie with the South Side, and like, I'm talking like within a block or two in the South Side. Like, give me a square, like a square that has a better run than Brookline Boulevard right there.
I really don't think I can do it because you nailed so many things. Like there's obviously places that I think can compete and especially in the South Side, but like you said, like Streets on Carson's one of my favorite. I talk about that all the time. Fatheads and Dive Bar are two more of my favorite, like just straight up bar food, but they're you can walk there obviously, but that's a
Yeah,
hike. Like
I mean, like, so
yeah.
you're on 8 between 18th and 19th for Fatheads. Not that I've ever been there. Um, but like, so you'd have to have like a 2 block square of like places that you like. There's what's in it within 2 square blocks. You got the Burger King. You got the
the
Brugger's Bagels. Like,
Dude, yeah. Yeah, there's some trash in between unfortunately, but
I mean, I
the thing
like
that
those things, but I'm saying like
sure, of
as
course.
far as like the eliteness of like like super good food, like Las Palmas is ridiculous,
Yeah.
ridiculous Mexican food.
Maybe somewhere maybe Squirrel Hill, I'm trying to think. Squirrel Hill's got some strong contenders, but it's, like, mostly really high-end Thai and Chinese food, like, it's a lot of Asian food, but there's a lot of good places right
Well,
on
I'm gonna
Main
have to
Street.
go there because there's Thai is probably my favorite. I
Dude,
love
here's a
Thai.
sleeper. I'll give you a little sleeper for a really fun block in Pittsburgh. How about Verona? You got Burgh Thai, right, just downtown Verona Square. You've got Burgh Thai, you've
Where's
got off
Verona?
the I
Just
dude,
to,
you
I
think I
kind
don't
of
think
know
I
where it is, but
It's like Oakmont. It's right outside Oakmont. Um, Verona, you've got Burgh Thai, which for me is some of the best Thai food I've had in Pittsburgh. I think it's phenomenal. Off the Rails Barbecue, Oakmont Barbecue Company's new little location. They got great local beer, great barbecue. Then you've got Inner Groove Brewing, which yes, it's a brewery, but they always have food trucks that rotate, and the food's always good out of the food
wait,
truck.
so they don't have food in the brewery? They don't serve food?
No, no, they don't.
Oh,
They got food trucks outside, so
yeah,
you just
that
walk
doesn't.
outside, grab
Yeah,
your food.
no, no,
Yeah, I don't
because it
know. I
could be
think
a
that
different
counts.
truck than what you were thinking of.
But that's even better, right?
No,
That's
no,
even
because
better.
you might go there wanting like I
Yeah, yeah.
want that food truck, and then you go and it's
Sure,
pizza.
sure. Fair, fair. And then there are 2 other little, like, divey bars in Verona that I hear are really good, but unfortunately, I've never been to either of them. There's also an Italian place that I hear is amazing. I think it's called Village Inn. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard the Italian there is mint too. So even the places that I haven't tried in Verona, I've heard are really high quality, but I can 100% vouch for the others.
So
It's a
that's going to
good
be that's a topic for the Facebook and like tell us a stretch. What stretch in the Western PA Pittsburgh area
Mhm.
beats Brookline Boulevard food? And like we'll
Yep.
list all the Brookline Boulevard like greatness,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
fun.
yeah, that's a good one.
It's a great it's a great weigh-in day discussion. I feel so bad if any fighter, like, tune in, they're like, "Oh my god,"
Okay,
you're showing pictures of
yeah,
yeah.
fighters. This is what you
They're
can
not
look
watching.
forward to
Yeah.
at tonight. Like
Yeah,
pick your
exactly.
poison tonight.
Yeah, we'll run out and get you a Troy Beck chicken sandwich if you want it. Hook it up, Troy. Become the official chicken sandwich provider of 247 Fighting
Yeah,
Championships.
we don't. Well, we don't really. Yeah, I don't know. We had a pizza sponsor when we were at Princecake, but since you know, um, convention center provides their own food, we haven't really been
Yeah,
looking for food sponsors.
true. And we love
But
food, man. Like, we freaking love food.
oh Yeah, well, I'm off keto right now, so watch out.
Yeah, he's on the loose.
Oak Hill Post put me off of keto.
We need to do the podcast live from Oak Hill Post, I think.
Dude, how about yeah, I agree. 100%. I'm dead serious. How about well, I lost my train of thought. See, I can't do that.
It's the carbs. The carbs are clouding your judgment. If you were on
Yeah.
keto, you'd be sharp right now.
There's something clouding my judgment. I don't know if it's the carbs.
All
Well,
right. Well, we've been
let's
rolling for like over an hour at this point. Yeah.
we're boring people.
So we really are. We got weigh-ins. We got a fight card happening tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. It's finally here. Brawl in the Burgh 10, like we've talked about the whole card, all podcast. Khama Worthy versus Jeremiah Scott at the top. A million other reasons to watch. It's going to be sick. We want you at the Monroeville Convention Center, of course. Tickets are available at 247fighting.com. Or day of the event, you can show up and get tickets at the door probably, but that's no guarantee. If you want to guarantee your seat, buy them now. And if you can't make it, we understand, like Ryan said, especially if you're supporting the out-of-town fighters. Order the pay-per-view, 247fighting.com/PPV. And that'll get you the pay-per-view stream. You'll get to hear Ryan Kavanaugh and Luke Payson's amazing commentary the whole way through. You'll get the production elements. Like we said, we try to do things at a level that if it was the UFC, you would say this is what we expect from a high-level production. This isn't some dude Facebook living from the audience on his phone. Like, this is a real high-level pay-per-view production. I think you guys will be impressed, and I definitely think if you come to the show, you'll be impressed. Like you said, there's just you can't replace that atmosphere and that feeling.
And you got to watch Josh Fremd tomorrow night or Sunday night. Sunday night, Josh Fremd on you. I think he's on Fight Pass. I think it's on
He
Looking
is.
for a Fight, and
It
it's
is.
a big opportunity for him. And we could all cheer him on as he, looks to get an opportunity. I mean, the guy is a stud, and he's a Pittsburgher, so don't forget to support him there.
It sounds corny, but I'm glad you said that because like we are really about supporting local MMA and building the Western PA MMA community. Like we talk about it all the time, but that's no joke. Like we have Josh Fremd, of course we know him. We're friends with him. We root for him and everything, but we're not making money off Josh Fremd. There's no there's no angle to us plugging Josh Fremd other than that we genuinely want to see him do well, want him to see the support. And like Cody Law, Stephen Mowry, Dalton Rasta, when they all won their last Bellator fights, we had posts about that, congratulating that. Like, we genuinely want to see guys get to that level and succeed, and I think it's happening right now in Pittsburgh. We're really building this thing up, and that's kind of our mission here is just building up the local MMA scene, the gyms, the fighters. It starts with stuff like this, like supporting these shows, supporting these fighters when they're at the base level, when they're in the basement working their way up. Like, man, this is how it happens, and we can feel it for sure on the inside, and we can't wait until it becomes even more prevalent all throughout Pittsburgh. Like in short order, man, the MMA scene is going to be back where it was a few years ago when guys were going to the UFC and Bellator left and right. Like we're getting there again, and then we're going to keep pushing it past that point too this time. So it's super exciting.
We were supposed to be joined as well by a matchmaker to the stars, Jim Mooney. It's obviously weigh-in day, so there's things that need taken care of that took his attention away, and we let him attend to those things. But hopefully, we'll have Jim on the podcast real soon.
We'll have him back. I hear like the comments are just blowing up with people saying, "Why can't we see Jim today? We want to see Jim's face."
Yeah,
That's
that
really what the people demand.
said nobody ever. We'll just have an audio port. No, that's bad too. I mean, maybe we just won't have him on the podcast. Dude,
obviously.
how about an MMA fan cast when you heard
Edwin
was on and he's like, "Kill Jim Mooney" and blah blah blah. Like, I don't know if you saw it, but
I did.
He's
freaking amazing. Well, like we said, Edwin's amazing, man. He's
There's
great.
no one like Edwin. Come watch him fight this weekend. Come watch Khama. Come watch Gavin. Come watch Evan. Come watch, all these Pittsburgh fighters. They're doing great things. Craig Perry. You got. I don't want to leave anyone out now. I just rattled off
There's
a bunch
too
of
many.
names.
Cam Allgeier,
Justin Patton. Like, it's awesome, and they're all matched in very competitive fights that they want tough fights. That's what you get at 247.
Yep, and like you said, we gotta mention we mentioned 7 out of the 8 guys. We can't leave the last one hanging. Julian Flannery, heavyweight amateur banger against Matt Vanderhoff, opening the show tonight. Opening with this kinda heavyweight fight, that's
Yeah,
just that's
yeah.
that's that's what it's all about.
We're letting the heavyweights set the tone, and trust me, these two are going
They're
to set
gonna.
the tone.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so hyped, man. It's finally here. We got weigh-ins. Like I said, follow us on social media for all the updates. We're gonna have weigh-in photos. We're probably gonna go live from weigh-ins. Why not? Let's do this thing up the right way, and then we'll see everybody tomorrow at the Monroeville Convention Center. Freaking stoked. Go subscribe to the podcast too.
247fighting.com. All right,
That's oh that
trash friend.
okay, ending it. I'm ending it before you get too out of control. Peace.